Hello and welcome to my channel again. Today we have BMW 4 Gran Coupe F36 430D 2016. The car has towed to our garage. As you can see, the 2-bar spindle pin is still connected to the vehicle, and the car has a non-starting condition, so the car cannot be started. So the car was sent from another garage, and today I contacted the garage to find out a little bit more about how did the problem started, whether the car was driving, stalled, and or the car was parked for a long time stationary and it didn't start, whether the car was run out of fuel or so. Right now the battery is discharged, so I'm going to show you the battery voltage right now and see. The battery voltage is not in a state that can start the vehicle. Okay, as you can see, this is the state of the battery voltage, as it's 9.9 volt. And also the garage did tell us that the AA roadside rescue one was attended, and they say that could be the high pressure fuel pump, but we still don't know. And also I can see here as so someone might be involved doing something, because there is a fuse here, a blown fuse. So we are going to find out why what happened, and so why the car was not starting, why the car has gone to this status or this condition that's not going to be start. And also we are going to scan the vehicle too. So this is the vehicle battery status. Okay, I have connected a battery charger to the vehicle, and the battery is being charged. As you can see, the battery voltage has reached to 11.5, and now I'm going to scan the vehicle and see that what fault code can we have at the scanner. Okay, now we are going to scan the vehicle, so I'm going to turn the ignition on. So the ignition is on now, and I'm going to scan the vehicle. Okay. Okay, it's 4 Gran F36 430D extra N47 engine, and the vehicle was produced in 2016. So yes, I'm going to select O2 scan. Okay, the scanning procedure has completed 100%, and now I'm going to go to the engine diesel electronic here. Read fault code. Okay, these are the fault codes. 24 9 300 rail pressure monitoring engine start, rail pressure too low during engine start. So digital diesel electronics supply voltage. So these are the fault codes. So power management, total discharge. So I'm going to, let me take picture of, okay, I'm going to clear these fault codes. Let me go to freeze frame data and see. Okay, so P016D, let me put that here. No, look, this is also not good location. So if I put it here, so everywhere is the so injector fuel supply pressure, so 4000 millibar. 4000 millibar is approximately 4 bar. This is pre-supply pressure, which is okay, I think battery voltage, ambient charge, air pressure is okay. Here this one I'm a little bit suspicious about this air mass per cylinder, which is 0. It's showing 0, and also as you can see the fuel rail pressure, which is 0. So these two are not good in my opinion, because this data is taking while the engine was cranking by the starter motor. I am not sure. So when you are cranking engine by starter motor, this is the nature that the air mass flow cannot be registered. That is going to be that is going to be 0, or there is a problem, any restriction that the air cannot enter the combustion chamber, the engine combustion chamber. And also, as you can see here, let me show you the engine speed. That this is the engine speed, which is 184 revolution per minute. So that it means that when the engine was cranking or spinning by the starter motor, so this data is stored. So I'm going to clear this fault code. Okay, no fault code. Now I'm going to go to live data. Okay, I'm going to select the relevant topic here and then show you on the camera. Okay, I have selected these topics. So engine speed, battery voltage, air mass nominal value, fuel pre-supply pressure, electric fuel pump activation signal, rail pressure, fuel rail pressure, and rail pressure set point value with the engine. So with the engine running, so now the battery voltage, let me show you where is the battery. The battery voltage is too low. I'm going to wait for the battery to get charged a little bit more, and then I'm going to crank the engine and record this data, and then later review the data and see if we can find the reason that the car is not starting, or why the car is not starting. Good news, as I was recording the data and the car has started. So this is as you can see, the engine is running, but it started very difficult. So now I'm going to see if there is any fault code stored in the scan tools. Let me review the data. I'm going to show you the moment where the car started. So review the data. This is the moment where the engine started. As you can see, the fuel rail pressure has reached 6085, 6085 psi. And let me, and the mass, the air mass is still showing 0, but the nominal value is 44.07. So that it means that there was no any fault or restriction for the air mass value to go to the combustion chamber. So let me, so this is the data. So at this point that was the data I was cranking the engine. So as you can see, the fuel pressure, the bottom line, as you can see, it was increasing until this point. So 122, then 122, why it's not going? Jump to 6085. At this point the engine started, and then as soon as the engine started, I pushed the engine start stop button again, and the engine stalled again, as you can see here. Come on. It stalled again, and I tried for the second time, and then the engine started. So now I'm going to go back. So right now this is the live data. As you can see, the rail pressure setup point value is 5,417. The actual pressure, fuel pressure, is 5,400. But I'm not sure why the garage couldn't start the vehicle. And also, as you can see, the gearbox is locked at in position, so they have put manually screw underneath to the gear selector knob there underneath, and so that will push the knob to end position. So when you towing the vehicle, so you should do that to prevent any accidental engagement of the P position or gearbox engagement to P position. So I'm going to leave the vehicle a little bit, and then turn the engine off, and then try it again and see if the engine can be started. So before I turn off the camera, I'm going to show you and check that what fault code can we have. So there are two fault codes still stored in the memory. One is 249300 rail pressure monitoring on engine start rail pressure. So because that was for too long cranking the engine before the engine starting, and this one is 288F00 power management reduction or switch off of individual electrical consumer. So we still got this 2 fault. So I'm not going to delete these fault codes because the engine is running. So I'm going to leave the engine running for a while until the engine reaches its operating temperature and also the battery gets charged, and then I'm going to turn the engine off, clear this fault codes again, and try start the engine again. So the engine was told at temperature of 176 degrees of Fahrenheit, and also when I tried to start the engine again, and it couldn't start, and this is the data. This is going to be the last one. This is the data, as you can see. Fuel rail pressure is 18. It's not going up more than 18 psi, and also the fuel quantity control valve activation signal is 62.5%, the duty cycle. But I'm not sure whether when the duty cycle of the fuel quantity control valve increases, it means that the fuel flow is restricting or increasing. So I don't know about that, whether in which way this is operating. And also, as you can see, rail pressure regulating valve activation signal is 78.63. that. But anyway, I'm going to check the camshaft signal with the oscilloscope, because I tried 2 times and the engine started. So I left the engine and went to the garage. Inside the garage, when I come, the engine was stalled, and when I checked the fault code, there was no any fault code in the scanner. So when I tried started up the engine again, this 2 fault code can I receive. This one is now, the camshaft one is showing permanent, but it sometimes shows intermittent or sometime permanent. And also that could be the case, but if ECU receive intermittent abnormal signal from the camshaft, that might turn the injector signals or signals off. So for whatever reason, because that vehicle started, and when the engine temperature has reached 176 degrees of Fahrenheit, the engine stalled again. Now, as you can see, the engine is not going to start at all. That's the problem. So anyway, I'm going to find the camshaft position sensor location first. But another bad thing, unfortunately, no information, any information, even fuse box location or any other information is available on O2 data here in the United Kingdom for this particular BMW. It's 36, as I have shown that to you before. So now I'm going to first locate the camshaft position sensor. Then I'm going to check the pen assignment, that which pen is for the signal, which is supply voltage or something. Because in the morning when the temperature was cold, the engine started, but very difficult. After long cranking period, the engine started, and unfortunately I wasn't here, and also I turned the scanner off, and I thought it's the engine is running for any other. I was going to contact the garage where the car has come from, that the car is started, and so for what reason the car was not starting. And unfortunately when I come back out, the engine was stalled. Okay, as you can see, this is the camshaft position sensor, this one, and this is the connector. This is pen 1 on the top, as you can see. The middle one is pen 2 and the bottom one is pen 3, this one. So I'm going to find out which pen is which one is the signal wire, which one is the reference wire, the 5 volt or maybe 12 volt, I'm not sure, and which one is the ground wire. That's located there, and this is the sensor. You need to remove all these things, this blanket, top cover, noise reduction cover, engine noise reduction cover, then you will be able to get access to the camshaft position sensor, and that's the connector. Okay, this is the sensor. Right now ignition is off, so no voltage anywhere. So the voltmeter leads, the red one is here and the black one is connected to the earth. So where that one has gone? So ignition is off. Now I'm going to turn the ignition on and then check the voltage. So the voltage is on now. So sorry, the ignition is on now. That Why it's not making? Okay. Before, the voltmeter lead was not contacting the pen. So as you can see, this is pen number 1. It's 4.9 volts. Pen number 2, 0. Pen number 3 is also 0. So I'm going to connect the camshaft position sensor back on, but one thing I have got here, this is going to be the 5 volt all the time. So and then I'm going to connect the scope meter 3 channels to this, because one is going to be 2 channel. Actually, I know that this is the I know that this is the 5 volt reference, and I'm going to find out in between these two which one is the reference, the signal wire, and which one is the ground wire. If I let me, yeah, you still can see the voltmeter screen. As you can see, this is pen number 3. I'm taking value measurement from it, and this is pen number 2. As you can see, that might be the signal, and this one, and this one. Okay, now I'm going to use another trick. I am going to connect the test light, which uses very small amount of current, and now I'm going to find out and touch it, each of these 2 wire. If the light lights up, and then that one will be the ground wire, and the other one will be the signal wire. So again, no success. As you can see, both pens, when I touch the light, the tester to any of them, these 2, and it lights up the tester, as you can see. And this one too, no success. So anyway, I'm going to connect this back to the sensor and back probe with the scope meter, and then crank the engine and see which wire is giving me what. Okay, I have connected the scope meter, the positive lead of the scope meter to the middle pin of the crankshaft position sensor, or pin number 2, and the negative lead of the scope meter is to pin number 3, or the bottom pin of the camshaft position sensor. So now I'm going to crank the engine, and you watch. Okay, as you can see, some activity here, so I'm going to bring that. As you can see here, this is not something that can be a signal, but that might be a noise contaminated or interferencing the cam sensor signal. So now I'm going to swap the two pins. So I'm going to connect the scope meter negatively to the middle pin of the camshaft position sensor pin 2, which now the positively it is connected to that, and I'm going to connect the positive lead of the scan tool to pin number 3 at the camshaft position sensor, as you might be able to see here. So I'm going to swap this to, so I'm going to move that here and this one here, and crank the engine once again. So I'm going to go to live event. So now it's live. So now I'm going to crank the engine again. Okay, I'm going to zoom that. Fortunately, nothing is captured, nothing is caught. So I'm going to crank the engine once again. So let me see. Yeah, these are okay. I'm going to change the scanner. The scanner is no good. The oscilloscope, I'm going to bring another oscilloscope. Okay, now I have set up another scope meter. So now I'm going to turn the ignition and see if I can capture any event or any signal. Okay, as you can see, no activity at all. This is 0, and this one is also 0. So I'm going to, yeah, I have fully zoomed in, but there is no any activity. This is just, very, very smaller. If I do it here, this is nothing, as you can see. So for this reason, this sensor is faulty. So I'm going to order a sensor. So this time I'm going to back probe the 5-volt reference voltage, and I'm going to see whether if there is any change on that one. So I'm going to connect the third channel as well. So this one channel I connected to pin number 2 at the camshaft position sensor, and the other one to pin number 3. This two, because I cannot distinguish between the ground and the signal wire, because both wire give me 0 voltage or no signal at all. So one should be okay, which is the ground one, but the other one, the signal wire is also 0. So I don't know which one is the signal wire and which one is the ground wire. As you saw, I checked with the test light, so both pen were lighting up the test light. So I'm going to connect third channel, and I'm going to connect that to pin number 1, which is 5-volt reference voltage. So now I have connected three channels of the scope meter to the camshaft position sensor. So the yellow one, this one is on pin number 2, and the green one, this one is on pin number 3, and this one, the blue one, is on pin number 1, which is right now showing 5-volt. So this is pin number 1, which is showing 5-volt, and also the yellow one is showing 0, and the green one is also showing 0. Now I'm going to crank the engine. So let me zoom that in. So as you can see, the 5-volt reference voltage stays all the time 5, and the yellow one stays all the time 0, and the green one, which is pin number 2, this stays all the time 0 2. So for this reason, I'm going to replace the camshaft position sensor. Okay, as you can see, I have ordered the new cam sensor, this one. This is the old one, and this is the new one I have ordered. Now I'm going to install that one. This one was the old one I have removed. Now the sensor is fully installed, and the O-ring, the rubber O-ring, has gone through. I haven't got a tightening torque specification, but anyway I will do very gentle. So now first I'm going to try to start the engine, and then when I start the engine, if I could, then I'm going to take the signal of it. This is the new sensor, so that what signal can the new sensor give us. So I'm going to install this dock as well, because the mass airflow sensor is here. I'm going to put this injector connector back on. This injector installed, and now so I have put this temporarily. Now I'm going to start the engine. So crank the engine and see if the engine can be started. So the engine didn't start. I'm going to clear the fault code and see if the engine can be started. Hello and welcome again. Second day on this bloody BMW. This one, M Performance. 430D. So, and also finally breakthrough. So these fuse are kept in this keg, as you can see. So I have removed the fuse box from this keg, as you can see when you push that, like so, and then you can separate. And this is the fuse location or assignment details. So 20, 20, 30, 10, 30. So only this three, the fifth, 4 and 3 are alive. These two are spare fuses. The problem was because this fuse number 5 is keeping blowing. As you can see, these are the fuse that I have blown with this one. So as soon as you turn the ignition on, and this fuse is blown. And this is the fuse box diagram. As you can see, this fuse which is this one, and there is no any information about that. This one, and also information here as well. As you can see, details of the fuse assignment are on a separate leaflet, which is unfortunately missing, or but one which I found is the camshaft position sensor 12 volt supply voltage. So I'm going to turn the ignition on and see if the fuse is still, because I have touch underneath, I have removed the so I'm going to turn the ignition on. So the ignition is on now. Okay, as you can see here, this is yesterday was pen number 3 and it was 0, and so now it has 12 volt supply voltage. This is the, which one, the no, it's yeah, it's actually number 3. Okay, number 3 is 12 volt, as you can see here right now, and this is connected to pin number 1, the yellow channel, and this one with the connector disconnected from the sensor, we had or have 5 volt, and this one in any condition or in any situation has 12 volts. The number 3 pin at the camshaft position sensor. So the ignition is on now, right now, and let me see that. So the test light is connected to R, and as you can see, so the fuse is no longer blowing up because I have removed this, and I think underneath the wire connector to the pen was touching each other. So I have, for this reason, the keg has been given from the manufacturer, from the factory, to keep the fuses separate from each other to avoid fuse blowing. So I'm going to start the engine, and you see, so yesterday I tried a lot and the engine was not starting at all. So now I'm going to start the engine. So as you can see, the engine has started easily, and yesterday I couldn't get any signal, and today camshaft signal, clear signal. So this is when you disconnect the camshaft position sensor, it's pin number 1 and it has 5 volt, and as you can see, it's fluctuating from 5 to 0. So clear signal, clear signal. Might be able to see like so. so clear signals switching from 0 to 5 volts. And also here the number 3 pin at the camshaft position sensor has a constant or continuous battery or source voltage. So the engine is running right now. It's okay for as long as this circuit fuse number 5 is not shorted to ground. Okay, ignition is on now, and this is pin number 1. So as you can see, 5 volts, and this is the middle pin. So pin number 1. So this is pin number 1. As you can see the voltmeter, the value is 5 volts. This is the middle pin, which is the ground, and this is pin number 3. As you can see, it's 12.3 volts. So yesterday this one was 0 because that fuse was keeping blowing, and so for this reason that was so as you can see now, it's 12 volt. So I don't know the concept of this camshaft position sensor, how the circuit operates, but when I connect this Coupe meter ground to the middle, a ground lead or black lead to the middle pin or pin number 2, and the first channel 1, positive line of the positive lead of the scope meter to 1, which is 5 volt, and that's fluctuating from 0 to 5 volt. And this one, the 12 volt, the pin number 3 voltage stays all the time 12 volt. Okay, I have installed all fuses in the same order as it was before. So 20 amps here, 20 amps here, 30 amps here, 10 and 30. So I'm going to put that in. So this is the cake. So I'm going to put that in. Hopefully. Now it has gone through, but you can test from through this window as well, but this is going to be difficult. So I'm going to put everything back and see if the fuse stays unblown, or the circuit stays working properly. So I'm going to put the cover and everything back and start the engine. Engine is running. Now I'm going to take the car for a road test drive and see if the car stall or that is going to be fixed, or don't know. So far so good. I hope that's going to be a good fix. That was a good fix. Okay, I have returned from the road test drive trip and the engine is still running. I'm very happy. We have fixed this car. Today is very hot here in the United Kingdom and it's really enjoyable weather. So I'm going to clear all fault codes and I'm going to make the vehicle, all modules fault free, and then I'm going to give to the customer. So I have driven the car like in very rough surface, like to see if there is any short circuit created by the movement of part, by vibration of the component or of the engine, but it was very good. I think the problem was that they where the fuse was connected, so the connector at the bottom of the fuse was connected to the earth somewhere, to the earth wire or to the earth connector. So I have separated that, because I connected the tester lead to the battery positive lead, and then I connected to that side of the short circuit of the fuse or so. I was separating and moving the wiring underneath of the connector until the tester light has gone off. So the fuse is no longer blowing up or blowing by the short circuit, and as you can see, the vehicle is running, and I have been driving the vehicle for approximately 8-9 miles on a very rough surface in high speed, so the problem did not occur. So thanks for watching. These are the fault codes, so I'm going to clear all of them. So all fault codes are cleared.